Guinea pig!
Hi, I'm Alyne and welcome to my kitchen.
Here we go.
That's right. And today I'm going to be doing a plain cake. It's also called a 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. And this is just using ingredients that most people have in their home. So you don't have to buy a cake mix to make a cake. You don't have to do anything complicated to make a cake. And I'll go over the ingredients with you real quick, and then I'm going to show you how I prep my pan to bake my cake.
Piggy calls it yum yum time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be yummy.
Okay, in this bowl here, I have 2 sticks, which is 1 cup of butter, softened, and my butter was in the freezer, so Piggy grated it for me to soften, so it gets softened. This is the one of the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. Okay, so it's 1 cup of butter. Have 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour. This is self-rising flour, and 4 eggs. This is large eggs. And that's what the recipe calls for, is 4 large eggs. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And in addition to that, you have a teaspoon of vanilla flavor or extract and 1 cup of milk. And this is the ingredients for a plain cake. It's a plain white cake. Now, I'm going to get to prepping my cake pan. And you'll see I've only got the 1 cake pan, and that's because this is an extra deep cake pan, and it is Cake Boss brand. But what you do is you take a piece of parchment paper and make sure it's bigger than the bottom of your cake pan. You take it, fold it in half. And there's a lot of people out there probably already know this trick.
But for those of you that don't, pay attention.
Yeah, this is the easy way to put parchment paper, or to line your cake pan in parchment paper. You fold it in half. So you got rectangle and a square, and then you take and make sure that closed end right there, and you fold it into a triangle, and then hold on, make sure that goes into a triangle, y'all, and then just fold it 1 more time, making sure you keep that triangular point. And what you'll do is you find the center of your pan, roughly center, and that's roughly the center. You just take a pair of scissors and you cut right around that edge right there, and I'm going to go ahead and trim that right there off just a touch. Now I'm going to spray my pan with cooking spray. A lot of times I'll tell you to grease and flour your pan. If you want to put grease or put oil and flour in there, you can. If you want to use cooking spray that's the Baker's Joy or something like that, you can do that. I'm just using plain old cooking spray. And I'll spray that. You don't have to put a ton in there. Then you take your little circle that you made.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that fits right in there. And that eliminates the need for the flour. I'm going to give all that to Piggy to throw away for me. And like I said, that fits right in there. It doesn't run up the sides. Everything's fine with that. So now we're going to start on the cake. And let me get my mixer over here. I should already have this done, y'all, but this is my kitchen, and of course I'm going to have something I ain't got prepped and set up. But that's okay. That means y'all get to see me do it.
We ain't no syndicated something, so, you know, we just play it by ear, do what we can, try to get it done.
Well, I'm not a professional chef. I'm a home cook. And I'm just trying to, I know you go in there. I just don't, there you go. Told you it went in there. And I'm going to plug this up right here. And it says to cream the butter. And once I get the butter creamed, I'll add my sugar and then my eggs, my vanilla flavor, and my milk. There'll be all my wet ingredients. So I'm gonna start creaming the butter.
Mixy, mixy, spinny, spinny.
Piggy, if you want to put this on time lapse while I get all this right here going, we can do that on time lapse.
Okay, here.
All right, I've got all of the wet ingredients mixed up. So I'm going to start adding the flour just a little bit at a time. And I'll mix this in.
There goes another flour storm.
Yeah, it's kind of like it don't seem to matter. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in. Stir it up a little bit. Well, y'all.
Some of it jumped ship.
It is just bound and determined to be a flour storm day. What I'm going to do, I'll give that to Piggy.
Piggy washy washy.
Now I'm going to kind of fold some of this in before I mix it again. Get that loose flour.
You talk about folding in, what do you mean?
Take and draw up the dough or the wet mixture from the bottom and kind of turn it over and just basically stir it into it, but just, you're not whipping it all together, you're just kind of folding it over itself.
Oh, okay. That'll work.
And you do that a lot, especially if you're using egg whites that you've beaten.
Yeah.
You fold them in because you do not want to lose the air and volume in your egg whites when you're using folding something in with egg whites for a meringue, because it keeps the air volume in your egg whites. Lay that right there for just a second. Now.
That helps keep it fluffy.
Right. All right, y'all, my batter is mixed together. I'm going to pull my cake pan right here. And we're going to pour this cake batter into this pan. Now, it is very simple to make a plain cake. I mean, you saw the ingredients. You saw what I did there, added everything together. And this is just a simple white cake. Now, if you wanted a lemon cake, you could use lemon extract instead of vanilla extract. If you wanted a chocolate cake, you could add about 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder to this mixture. And you would have a chocolate cake. If you wanted one of those confetti type birthday style cakes, you could get you some of that candy confetti stuff that they sell in the bottle, sprinkles, I guess is what you call them.
Yeah.
You could put you some of that in it. And yes, this is full. This cake will rise above the top. That's okay. It's just for me and Piggy. It's not a professional cake. And if it was, I'd still put it in here and I'd just trim the top off.
Piggy gonna make himself sick later on. Eating on that.
Okay. Now I do have my oven already preheated to 350 degrees. Go ahead and clean that spatula off right there.
Don't worry, folks. Her hands are clean.
Yeah. That's one thing I insist on in my kitchen, is making sure my hands are clean.
And Piggy don't mind eating after her anyhow. She cooks good.
Okay, clean the top. Here's the girl. This will go in the oven for about 50 minutes. And you'll see what I'm just kind of leveling it out.
Shaky, shaky.
Just shake it a little bit to level it out. And like I said, I'm going to put this in my oven, 350 degrees for about 50 minutes. And if it needs to cook more, I will add the extra 10 minutes. Well, it's doing its thing. It's on 53 minutes, so it'll be fine. So we'll see y'all back on the cake part in about 53 minutes or so. And I'm going to do it's a cream cheese frosting. If you want to see my cream cheese frosting recipe, I will link the best ever carrot cake and cream cheese frosting video.
Oh man, that was good.
That's got my cream cheese frosting recipe on it. So if you want to see that made, I'm going to do this after the cake is finished, because I don't want the frosting to sit there while the cake is cooking. So that'll be something I do after, but I will show you what it looks like with frosted on it. So again, we'll see you back here in about 50 minutes or so.
Here we go.
All right, y'all, we're back. Before I show you the cake, I'll tell you what happened. I forgot to put a pan underneath my cake pan.
She had a blowout, folks.
And we had a blowout. I had too much cake batter in my pan. I knew better. I knew I should have put it either in a larger cake pan or divided it into two. But I didn't, and that's on me. But like I said, I had a blowout. So at about the 25-minute mark, I had to take my cake out of the oven and put it on a pan. Take my rack out, and Piggy cleaned it for me. Take the drip tray out of the bottom of my oven, clean it, and clean my eye off in the bottom of my oven. Because we had cake batter everywhere.
It wasn't all that bad. It bad enough, but it wasn't all that bad.
It was an easy fix, and it just goes to show it doesn't matter how long you've been cooking, how long you've been baking. Accidents still happen, mistakes still happen, but you can recover from them. You don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater by throwing everything out and starting fresh. So y'all,
you might want to explain that baby with the bathwater thing, because you got a lot of younger folks listening. They might not know what you're talking about. They're going to be going,
it's an expression from years ago. When I'm saying years ago, I'm talking about
pre-1950 to 1800s.
Yeah, late 1800s or so, maybe before that. When you washed your baby in a dish pan or something.
What happened was they didn't take baths that often, so when they did, everybody took a bath. The baby was let last. Yeah. Wound up being last in the bath water. When they go to throw the bath water out, where'd the baby go?
Yeah. So, it's a case of, it's just an expression that's been used all my life. When you make a mistake, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. You don't have to start over. You don't have to do anything. Just finish what you're doing and correct it the best you can at that time. The cake is done. It's still edible. But I'm going to show you what it looks like now. Piggy's going to zoom down.
Now she's going to show you what she did to prevent the rest of it from getting all over the place.
I'm going to turn it around so you can actually see it.
And how to fix it so that you don't waste it.
Right. And you see it overflowed. It blew. It had a blowout.
There's the blowout. Oh boy, Piggy going to get some cake bites.
But the cake is done. Oops. And like I said, this is the extra cake. The Piggy gets a nibble. And
y'all see all that overflow. That's going to be cake bites for the Piggy. The Piggy going to have fun with that.
And this needs to sit for a total of 5 minutes. And it probably has.
Yum, yum,
you
yum.
See Piggy done doing that.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Just regular plain cake. And what I'll do is when I get ready to turn it out on my rack here, which will be here in just a minute, I might go ahead and start doing that. Okay, get that separated out.
Oh, boy.
I'll move this.
Whole pan of cake bite for the Piggy.
And just going to flip it this way, y'all. You get to see me flip my cake over, hopefully. Well, let me do it
You
this
better
way.
get those cake bite things off of it first. You're going to have them flying everywhere.
No, you ain't. You might have a little bitty bite that right there. Oh, that's a good flavor.
It does.
And the only reason I'm still holding on to this is because that pan right there is a little bit hot, y'all. Still a little tad warm, but
Let's see if that works.
Got off my neck there. Got off my neck there. I say it's stuck, y'all.
It did.
You did, it's stuck. But it's gonna be a minute before I can get that off of there. It's still a little bit.
Might need to let that cool before you try to pop it out.
I'll let it cool for another 5-10 minutes or so, and then I'll try to get it out. It's not a big deal. Y'all, I mean, it just goes to show you can make a mistake. Things can happen.
Cake bite.
Just sit there. And things can happen, but you can correct it. You don't have to throw everything away and start from fresh. And I told Pete, maybe I just need to start a new video later and not do this. He said, no, go ahead and finish it. I need to finish this. I need to let y'all know what happened. So what we'll do, I'm going to let this cool for a little bit. And once this pan gets cool to the touch for me to where I can deal with it, I will take it off the cake and we'll see how bad the cake turns out from there.
Yeah, I told her go ahead and do it because if nothing else, it shows honesty.
Yeah. You know, not everything turns out perfect in life, and not everything turns out perfect in my kitchen for sure. Y'all already know that.
But so, she can also use it to show you how she fixes it so she don't waste it.
Right. So we'll see you back here when I get ready to take the pan off the cake. Just wanted to let y'all know about this. And I will make up the cream cheese frosting after this cools completely. We'll have cream cheese frosting.
Because if you out there struggling and you got enough to be able to do something like this and something like this happens, it's a blow to you.
Yeah.
But seeing how to fix it and still save it so you don't waste it is kind of like the old thing, forewarned is forearmed.
And always remember, set your cake pan on a baking sheet. That way, if something like this does happen, you don't have a big mess in the oven.
That's it.
We'll be back in a little bit, and I'll be taking the pan off, and we'll go from there on the cake.
Okay, here we go.
All right, y'all. I flipped this over, and I trimmed the edges a little bit, and I put a knife down the sides to see if it would loosen it up. And
it's a-coming.
One side right there is a little warm. And I have a feeling, y'all, it's just going to be, it ain't going to be a cake with no icing. It's just going to be a plain cake to be eaten. Ooh, maybe I'm wrong. Ooh, look at that, y'all.
I think that turned out just right.
That is a pretty cake, y'all.
In spite of it all.
And what I'll do is I'm going to let this sit here and cool. And once it's completely cool, I'm going to take and I'm going to cut it in half. Just take my bread knife and cut it half across the center. And then I will do the frosting on it. But that actually turned out pretty, y'all. Consider what it looked like when it come out of the oven and what it looks like right there. That's a big difference, y'all.
That just goes to show you can take it from a blowout to perfectly fine.
That's it. It's a beautiful cake. And I am so proud of the way that looks, y'all. I am truly blessed on how that looks.
Go ahead and turn it all the way around. Let them see it all.
A little place right there, but that's fine. Icing will cover that.
But I can guarantee you, folks, once you ice a cake like that, that's messed up just a little bit like that, once you ice that sucker, there ain't nobody, they ain't going to be no cake police in there scraping off some ice and see what it looks like underneath there. They're going to be taking a slice and eating that thing.
I cooked it right at 55 minutes. So, I'll let you know that. Like I said, I'm going to let this cool. I will be back Probably in about 30, 40 minutes. Once it's good and cool, I can ice it. I'll make up my cream cheese frosting then, and I'll show you me frosting the cake, how I do it with cutting this in half and then frosting it. But
I think she's trying to fatten the piggy up, folks. Y'all might need to be worried about me.
No, I wanted to show how to do a plain cake.
Well,
this is a plain cake.
That's what you do with a pig. You fatten it up with a slider so you can have you some good ham. That's why I said, she might be trying to fatten the piggy up and have some ham.
So we'll be back in a little bit, y'all. All right, I'm back. I'm getting ready to cut the cake. And when I say cut the cake, I'm going to cut it and make 2 layers out of it. And I'm just going to start here on the side and keep it as level as possible while I'm cutting. And if it's a little off center, that's fine too. This cake is...
We ain't pros here.
It ain't perfect by any means. All right, y'all. Now I got my cake cut. Get those little crumbs over here to the side. And you'll notice I have this right here. And what that is a piece of cardboard that we cut out. And I used one of my large plates and traced around and cut Piggy cut the cardboard out for me, and I just wrapped it in aluminum foil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on here. I'm going to take this half right here, turn it like that. You can see it's got a little bit of a tear out right there. That's fine. That's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this icing in here.
Well, don't they look good inside there, folks?
And I'm not going to ice the sides. Yeah, this icing is sweet. And like I said, I only made half a batch because the sugar in it, I just can't handle it. But I wanted something a little sweet. So what I'm going to do is put some of this frosting, icing, whatever you want to call it, in the middle of the cake. Then I'm just going to put the top back on it, and I'm going to put some on it. But it's just going to be basically a bare cake on the sides.
For us, it'll have enough icing for it to be nice and sweet.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be
If you want it sweeter, you can do the double batch and do it all up and all that. But we gotten old enough and away from so many sweets, we just can't tolerate the really, really sweet stuff anymore.
And I'm just going to put that back on there like that.
Might want to shift it that way to get it even.
It's not quite even. Okay.
There you go.
That works. And I'll probably pick a little bit of this icing for his bites over here that came from the overflow.
Icing dip. Oh, goody.
And I'm not going to cut this right now. I'm just going to probably put it in the refrigerator and let that set really well.
Boy, but that'd be really good, nice and cold.
But we do have those bites, and I can already tell you because I've been mentioning on some of those little pieces.
There ain't many of them left.
There ain't many left, but they are good, and it's sweet enough. Well, y'all, it ain't the prettiest cake, but it is good. And I don't remember if I told y'all or not, but I did put lemon flavoring in that icing instead of vanilla. And that's the good thing about that. You can make that whatever flavor you want. If you want vanilla, you can do vanilla flavor. If you want lemon flavor, you can do lemon. You can do almond. Whatever flavor you want to put in that, go for it. It's up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bowl here that's got my pieces of cake in it. Again, I'm not going to cut the cake. I'm just going to eat me a small bite. Put a little bit of this on there. That's good stuff.
Piggy wants one. Nah.
So, again, folks, that's my cake. Plain cake, 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. Oopsie cake, whatever you want to call it.
Blowout cake.
Everybody have a great day. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.
Where's my phone?